Shesh 3.1, you are the artist of your own life. Life is not a painting already completed, nor is it a song with a fixed melody. No one is born with a perfect script. We are all artists, and life is the raw material from which we create. Every decision you make, big or small, is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Every action you take is a note in the symphony of your destiny. Every choice is your way of mixing colors, blending seemingly simple elements into a masterpiece no one else could ever replicate. You can live like everyone else, or you can live like an artist. Society loves to put you in a mold. You must study this way. You must follow this career path. You must make money like this. You must live a normal life, just like everyone else. But ask yourself this: has any great artist ever created a masterpiece by copying others? Has any timeless symphony ever been composed by following a formula? No. Creativity is not found in sameness. It lives in the courage to be different. You don't need to rebel against the world, but you do need to live with intention. You don't need to be wild, but you must be brave enough to mix your colors your own way. Haksha, blending the colors of life, logic, emotion, and experience. Life gives you emotions, joy, sadness, hope, disappointment, numbers, time, money, chances, failures, limits, health, circumstances, capabilities, colors, love, friendship, betrayal, loneliness, light, and darkness. The question is, how will you blend them? A true artist doesn't avoid the shadows. They use them to highlight the light. They don't fear blank space. They use it to add depth. And so it is with life. Your wounds, your stumbles, the moments you felt lost, these are all colors. If you can learn to accept them, mix them, and paint with them, you'll create a life that is deep, powerful, and unmistakably your own. Every choice is a brushstroke. You are painting your self-portrait. Some people choose to paint their life in muted tones, avoiding risk, avoiding pain, living safely. Others dare to use vibrant colors, loving boldly, living truthfully, chasing passion. You get to choose your palette. But remember, not choosing is still a choice, and often the dullest one. Every day you are mixing colors. You choose to read a book, or scroll mindlessly online. You choose to stay committed or give up when it gets hard. You choose to forgive or trap yourself in resentment. You choose to live by your values or chase validation from others. No one can stop you from mixing your colors as you wish, but only you will live with the final painting. Every masterpiece takes time. Don't give up during the sketch. Many people abandon their life's potential just because of a few smudges, a few imperfect lines, or an early version that didn't look right. But ask yourself, has any great artist finished their work in one perfect stroke? Has any composer written a masterpiece from the first draft? Has any life ever been lived without mistakes? The process of creating is rarely clean. There are dark shades. There are moments where you feel it's all going wrong. But the great artist knows they can always edit, always adjust, always add more light if they don't give up. So it is with life. As long as you haven't put down the brush, you can rewrite, repaint, rebuild, and shape your journey into something truly extraordinary. The beautiful truth: no one has your color palette. Here's the magic of life. Even though we all have the same 24 hours, the same 3 primary colors, 10 digits, 7 notes, no one on earth has your exact mix. The experiences you've lived, the pain you've endured, the dreams you've quietly held onto, the tears you've shed from heartbreak or joy, all of it combines into a palette no one else possesses. You don't need to be Van Gogh or Mozart or Steve Jobs. You just need to be honest with yourself and brave enough to paint the vision your heart longs to see. One final invitation: pick up the brush and create a life you're proud of. Life is a blank canvas. Others may have opinions. The world may whisper instructions, but only you are holding the brush. You can hand it over, let someone else paint your life, or you can take it firmly in your hand and, stroke by stroke, create a life that makes you smile when you look back. Life doesn't ask you to be a genius from day one. Life only asks that you be true to yourself and brave enough to keep remixing until the colors feel like they truly belong to you. So go ahead, create boldly, paint honestly, live artistically. This life is yours. Make it a masterpiece. Nashdad 3.2, the story you tell becomes the life you live. We don't live in the world as it is. We live in the world as we perceive it. And that perception is shaped more than anything else by the story we tell ourselves every single day. You are not just living your life, you are narrating it. You are the author, the voiceover, the editor in chief of your inner dialogue. And whether you realize it or not, that narrative is designing your beliefs, choices, energy, and ultimately your destiny. Your words are not harmless, they're directional. When you say, I'm not creative, I'm not good with money, I always mess things up, you're not just making observations, you're programming a script, and your brain will work tirelessly to keep it true. The story you repeat becomes your subconscious operating system. And like a GPS, it directs every thought, decision, and reaction. Want to change your life? Change the narration. Two people, same circumstance, two completely different realities. One person loses their job and says, "This always happens to me. I'm such a failure. No one will hire me now." They shrink, they freeze, they spiral. Another loses their job and says, "This is hard, but maybe it's a sign to pivot. What's the opportunity here? What skills do I want to build next?" They grow, they act, they move forward. Same event, different story, completely different outcome. We are meaning makers. The story is never neutral. Life gives us facts, a breakup, a rejection, a win, a loss, a quiet morning, a stormy night, but it's your story about the facts that shape how you feel and what you do next. A failure can be the end of everything, or it can be the start of something greater. A boring job can be a trap I can't escape or a training ground while I prepare for my next leap. A scar from the past can be my weakness or the fuel that makes me stronger. You get to choose the story, always. Rewrite the scripts that no longer serve you. Many of us are still living by stories we never chose. Stories handed down by society, family, or past pain. People like me don't succeed. If I try, I'll just fail. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not enough. But those are not truths. They're scripts, and scripts can be edited. Ask yourself, whose voice am I really hearing when I say these things? Do I want to keep carrying this story into my future? What story would empower me more? You have the pen. Write something better. Words don't just describe your reality, they shape it. You can tell yourself, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm still writing this chapter. This is just the setup before the breakthrough. And when you do, something shifts. Your energy changes, your decisions change. You start showing up with more courage, more creativity, more faith, because your brain follows your words and your actions follow your brain. Tell the story as if you were the hero because you are. No hero's journey is free of struggle. Every great story includes a storm, a villain, a breakdown moment before the breakthrough. So stop resenting the obstacles. Start recognizing them as part of your becoming. You are not the victim. You are the one rising. You are not the side character. You are the protagonist. This is not the end. This is the part where it starts getting good. Use your voice to create, not just to cope. Your voice is your most powerful tool. You can use it to complain or create, blame or build, repeat the past, or rewrite the future. Speak life into your goals. Speak strength into your day. Speak healing into your pain. Speak progress into your journey. The universe listens closely to how you talk about your life. Speak like someone who believes their future is still being written with purpose, power, and possibility. Change the question, change the chapter. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, what's the next step I can take? Small shift, big difference. Because your words don't just fill the air, they frame your focus, and what you focus on expands. Speak to your life like it's listening, because it is. What you speak consistently, you start to believe. What you believe consistently, you start to live. So speak with clarity. Speak with vision. Speak with intention. Say, I'm not stuck, I'm becoming. I'm not lost, I'm exploring. I'm not behind, I'm learning. I'm not broken, I'm building something stronger. Because the story you tell, again and again, will become the life you live. For Life Frog, one final note. Narrate your life like a masterpiece in progress. Your life is not a failure. It's a draft. Your struggles aren't detours. They're the foundation of your depth. Your slow seasons aren't wasted time. They're preparation. And even the parts that felt meaningless can be rewritten with a new lens of meaning and purpose. So from today, choose your words as carefully as an artist mixes paint. Speak over your life with love, clarity, and fierce belief. Narrate each day like it's part of something beautiful you're building. You don't need a perfect story. You need a true one. And the truest one is this: you are the author, and the next page is blank. 3.3. Each day is a chance to add a new stroke to the canvas of your life. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, what did I add to the canvas of my life today? A genuine conversation, a courageous decision, an act of kindness, a moment of stillness, or maybe just another day that passed quietly under the pull of routine? Whether you realize it or not, every single day you are adding one more stroke to your life's painting. The question is, are you the one choosing the colors and direction, or are you letting time paint it for you? Time won't wait, but you can choose how to use it. You can't slow time. You can't rewind. You can't pause it. But you can choose what you'll do with it today. Even if yesterday was full of failure, you can still paint today with a hue of hope. Even if you've lost your way, you can choose to redraw your path. Even if you abandoned a dream, you still have the right to begin again, right now. Each day is a fresh canvas. What you put on it is up to you. Don't wait for perfection to begin, because it doesn't exist. So many people postpone living. When I'm more skilled, I'll start. When things settle down, I'll act. When I'm less busy, I'll live differently. But here's the truth. No one is ever fully ready. There is no perfect timing. There is only today and what you choose to do with it. Someday is where dreams go to die. Today is where they get a chance to live. So begin with what you do have: a quiet morning, a notebook and pen, a decision to commit, a tiny step forward. You don't need the whole palette to paint. Sometimes one color is enough to create something beautiful. Your life's painting doesn't have to be perfect, only real. Sometimes you'll mess up the strokes. Some days the colors will come out too dark. Sometimes things will feel chaotic, messy, unfinished. That's normal. Every artist has painted over their own mistakes. Every real, honest person has felt lost or overwhelmed at times. But often it's those very smudges, those shadows and scars, that form the foundation for depth and contrast. Don't throw away the whole painting just because of one rough patch. Keep painting, day by day. Trust that the masterpiece lies not in one perfect moment, but in your courage to keep showing up. You can't control what colors life gives, but you can choose how to mix them. Life won't always hand you bright tones. There will be days when you are betrayed, days when you lose everything, days when your energy feels drained, your hope running low. But remember, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. You can't choose the color of the sky, but you can choose the shade you cast in your mind. You may not choose the materials life hands you, but you can blend them, layer them, rework them with your resilience. As Jim Rohn once said, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens. Turn pain into empathy. Turn failure into perspective. Turn loss into growth. That's how you reclaim the brush. A masterpiece is built one deliberate stroke at a time. Beautiful paintings aren't born from one magical stroke. They are built from thousands of intentional, imperfect, persistent movements. Today, you choose to show up fully. Tomorrow, you choose to speak kindly. The day after, you rise early and move your body. Then you choose to forgive, to believe again, to try again. One stroke at a time, one color at a time, one decision at a time. Until one day when you look back, you realize you didn't just drift through life. You painted it in your own colors with your own hand and your whole heart. And if today feels like a dark shade, let it be. No masterpiece is made of only bright colors. No symphony is composed entirely of crescendos. Depth comes from contrast. So if today feels heavy, gray, or quiet, don't erase it. Let it be part of the balance. Let today's silence deepen tomorrow's sound. Let today's stillness sharpen tomorrow's motion. Let today's sorrow make space for tomorrow's joy. There is beauty even in the shadows, if you trust they belong. You are the artist, the musician, the architect. No matter what others say, no matter what the past has brought, you still hold the brush. You are not the product of your circumstances. You are the result of your choices. And each day, each action, each stroke you commit to builds the life you are creating. Life is not what you're given. It is what you create. One choice, one brushstroke, one moment at a time. So today, this exact moment is your next opportunity to choose a new color, write a new line, sing a new verse, take one small action that honors your truth. Because what matters most is not how your painting began, but how bravely you continue to paint it. 3.4, there's no final version until you stop creating, in English, with the same heartfelt motivational tone and a length of approximately 1,200 words. 3.4, there's no final version until you stop creating. We often look at our lives and think we need to figure it all out. We feel pressured to find the perfect job, build the perfect relationship, discover the perfect purpose, and live the perfect version of ourselves. Like there's a fixed final form we must achieve before time runs out. But here's the truth most people forget. You are not a product. You are a process. You are not a destination. You are a journey. You are not a finished piece. You are a living, evolving work of art. There is no final version of you unless you stop choosing, growing, and creating. Everything real is always evolving. Think of the most beautiful works of art, architecture, or music in history. Many of them were revised dozens, if not hundreds of times. Da Vinci worked on the Mona Lisa for over a decade. Beethoven rewrote entire movements of his symphonies. Michelangelo sculpted in phases, continuously shaping and refining. Writers, painters, creators, they all return, rework, rethink, and so should you. You don't have to get it right the first time. You don't have to stay the same version of yourself forever. Growth means change, and change means life. You are allowed to outgrow your dreams. You are allowed to let go of old identities. You are allowed to shift direction, rewrite plans, and begin again. What matters is not how complete your life looks. What matters is that you are still reaching, still refining, still breathing passion into it. Stop chasing the final version. Start embracing the living one. Many people get stuck in the trap of perfection. When I finally lose this weight, when I finally make enough money, when I finally figure out my passion, when everything is in place, I'll be happy. But perfection is a mirage. It moves further away the more you chase it. What if, instead of trying to arrive, you chose to evolve? What if today you decided to accept this truth? There is no final version of me. There is only the version I am creating today. That means you don't have to have it all figured out. You're not late. You're not broken. You're simply in progress, like every great thing ever made. The only people who stop changing are those who've given up. Trees keep growing until their last breath. Rivers keep flowing, carving new paths. Artists keep painting, even in old age. Why should you be any different? You're not meant to peak at 25, 35, or 55. You're not meant to settle down into a static version of yourself. You're meant to keep rediscovering who you are, to keep growing into new seasons, to keep asking, what else is possible from here? The day you decide you're finished is the day you stop living and start existing, and you weren't born to just exist. Revision is not failure, it's mastery. So many people see changing their mind, their direction, or their dreams as weakness. But in truth, it's a mark of wisdom. No great novel is written in one draft, no master painting goes unedited, no life worth living is done after one idea. When you realize something no longer fits, revise. When you discover something new, add it. When you feel stuck, shake things up. Don't mourn the versions you've outgrown. Honor them, thank them, and keep moving forward. Every version of you was necessary for the next one to emerge. Growth is not linear, it's layered. Life is not a straight line. Sometimes you'll move forward fast, other times you'll take steps back. There will be seasons of blooming and seasons of stillness, but every layer counts. Every cycle matters. That job you hated taught you resilience. That heartbreak taught you clarity. That failure taught you humility. That detour taught you direction. So when you feel like you're behind or off track, remember this. You are not behind. You are building depth. You are layering wisdom into the canvas of your life. It's okay to be a work in progress. Say it out loud. I don't have to be finished. I just have to keep going. You don't need to impress anyone with your perfect plan. You don't need to prove that you've got it all figured out. You just need to keep showing up, open-hearted, willing, brave enough to keep adding color to your world. Because the most beautiful lives aren't the polished ones, they're the honest ones, the layered ones, the ones that have been revised, rebuilt, and reborn 1,000 times. Today's version doesn't cancel tomorrow's possibility. Maybe today you're struggling. Maybe today you're doubting yourself. Maybe today feels dark or dull or directionless. That's okay. Today's version of you is not your forever. You can always rewrite. You can always revisit. You can always reimagine. One insight can shift your purpose. One connection can change your future. One decision can spark a whole new path. You are not stuck. You are becoming. The world needs more people who are still creating. We live in a world obsessed with certainty and titles. What do you do? Where do you live? What's your 5 year plan? What are you exactly? But the most powerful people, the ones who change things, are the ones who say, I'm not done yet. I'm still becoming. They are the ones who keep asking questions, keep learning new tools, keep reimagining how they want to live and love and lead. Be one of those people. Be a living draft of something real, messy, and meaningful. Closing thought, keep creating until the end. You don't need to know what your final version looks like. You just need to know that there's more inside you waiting to be expressed. Each day is another brushstroke, another sentence, another chord in your life's composition. So don't wait to be finished before you start living. Live now. Evolve always. Keep creating until the last breath and let your life be the masterpiece that was never meant to be final. 3.5 The masterpiece is in the making, not the result. We are often taught to judge things by their outcomes. We celebrate the finished product, the final achievement, the visible success. We admire the book once it's published, the song once it's produced, the business once it's booming, the person once they've made it. But in doing so, we forget something vital. The masterpiece was not in the final form, it was in the making of it. The real beauty was in the struggle, the growth, the late nights and early mornings, the doubts, the courage, the quiet commitment to keep going, not in the applause that came at the end. The world sees the finish line, but you live the process. People might applaud the moment you succeed. They'll say, wow, you're so lucky, you're so talented, you're amazing. But they won't see the parts that truly matter. The days when you showed up without motivation, the nights when you chose to learn instead of scroll, the failures that no one posted, the small wins you celebrated alone, the effort, the tears, the silence. What made the masterpiece wasn't the frame around it, it was the fire within it. You are always in the middle of your greatest work. Here's the truth that brings peace. You don't need to finish to be proud, you just need to keep showing up. Whether you're writing your story, building your dream, healing your heart, or learning a new way to live, progress itself is powerful. Consistency is courageous. And showing up when no one's watching, that is art. You are in the middle of your greatest work. It doesn't need to be shared yet. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. Masterpieces don't start as masterpieces. A blank canvas is not beautiful, but it's necessary. So is the first awkward brushstroke, the rough draft, the first business plan that doesn't make sense, the first video with shaky lighting, the first post no one liked, the first time you tried and failed. Greatness always starts ugly. But without ugly, there would be no unforgettable. No one sees the broken notes in Mozart's drafts. No one hears the songs Ed Sheeran never released. No one reads the journals of authors before their bestsellers, but the greatness was already there, just not yet fully formed. So don't throw away your progress just because it's still rough. You are in the messy middle, and that's exactly where masterpieces are born. If it's meaningful, it will never be instant. We live in an age of instant gratification, instant likes, instant feedback, instant deliveries, instant everything. And so we've come to expect that our purpose too should be instant. But the truth is, what matters most often takes the longest. A tree doesn't bear fruit in a week. A relationship doesn't deepen overnight. Mastery isn't built in a month. A life well lived is not a sprint. It's a slow, beautiful layering of intention over time. You don't need to rush. You're not behind. You're building something that lasts and that requires patience. The magic is in the making. There's something sacred about the process. The silent moments when you're working through an idea no one understands yet. The slow transformation of your thoughts into words, your dreams into action, your pain into strength. The ordinary days stacked together with quiet effort. This is the soul of every masterpiece. Not the moment it's unveiled, but the years you spent becoming someone who could create it. Don't skip the making. Don't devalue the middle. Don't compare your in progress to someone's polished result. Your journey is valid. Your pace is enough. Your process is a masterpiece in motion. Celebrate what's unseen. We often wait until something is complete before we allow ourselves to celebrate. But you don't have to wait. Celebrate that you began. Celebrate that you kept going. Celebrate the hours no one clapped for. Celebrate the decision to show up when it would have been easier to quit. Those moments matter more than the spotlight. They are the quiet strokes of genius no one sees, but you know. They're proof of your devotion, your vision, your heart. So honor them. They are already part of your legacy. You are becoming the artist who can finish the work. Sometimes the work isn't done not because you failed, but because you haven't yet grown into the version of you who can finish it. That's okay. Growth takes time. Maybe the story isn't complete because you're still living the chapter that gives it meaning. Maybe the dream isn't launched because you're still becoming the leader who can carry it. It's not that you're lost, it's that you're still learning how to fly. And every step, every fall, every restart is part of the training. Don't despise the unfinished. Trust that when you're ready, the work will be too. Closing, fall in love with the process, and you'll always be creating. In the end, the people who live most fully are not those who chase only results. They are the ones who fall in love with the making. The ones who wake up with curiosity, not just deadlines. The ones who seek meaning in every step, not just the finish line. The ones who understand the journey is the art. So if you're in the middle of building something, writing something, healing something, becoming something, don't rush to the result. Stay in the making. That's where the masterpiece truly lives. Because your life was never meant to be just a product. It was meant to be a living, breathing, becoming work of art. And you, my friend, are still in the beautiful, bold, miraculous making. Sanfash 3.6, you're not too late and it's not too early. We live in a world obsessed with timelines. By 25, you should have this. By 30, you should be there. If you haven't made it yet, you probably never will. If you don't start early, you'll never catch up. These silent rules sneak into our minds like invisible chains, making us question our pace, our worth, our path. But here's the truth you need to remember. You are not too late. You are not too early. You are exactly where you need to be, becoming who you were meant to become. There is no perfect timeline, only the one that's yours. You don't have to compare your progress to someone else's. They might bloom in spring, you might be a flower of late summer, they might launch a company at 20, you might write your first book at 45. They might find their calling early. You might discover yours after years of trying and failing and learning and rising again. A sunset is not late just because the sunrise came first. A symphony isn't rushed just because another song is shorter. We each unfold in our own rhythm, and your timeline is not broken, it's bespoke. You're not late just because someone else started first. It's easy to feel behind when you scroll past highlight reels. She already has a thriving business. He's already married. They've already figured it all out. But the truth is, no one has it all figured out. Everyone is walking through unseen struggles, doubts, restarts. You might just be starting. You might be starting over. You might be walking slowly while others seem to sprint. But hear this, you are not late. You are learning. You are gathering wisdom others rushed past. You are building a foundation meant to last, not just impress. You're not too early just because the world doesn't understand yet. Maybe you've started something and no one notices yet. Maybe you're dreaming out loud and all you get is silence. Maybe your work feels invisible, uncelebrated, unseen. That doesn't mean it's not real. Sometimes being early just means being brave. You're ahead of the curve. You're preparing for what's to come. You're planting seeds that will bloom in their season, not when the crowd demands it. Keep planting, keep building, keep believing. There are no expired dreams, only abandoned ones. So many people give up because they think their moment has passed. But moments don't expire, they evolve. Vera Wang became a designer at 40. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65. Morgan Freeman didn't land a major film role until 50. Julia Child published her first cookbook at 49. There is no age limit on creativity, no deadline on becoming who you were meant to be, no expiry date on your potential. If the dream is still whispering, it's still alive. You don't need to rush it. You just need to not walk away from it. You're not meant to match the world's pace. You're meant to honor your own. You're not a machine. You're not a product. You're not here to keep up. You're here to live, to feel, to grow, to unfold. Sometimes that will look fast, other times painfully slow. But every moment, even the pauses, is part of your rhythm. Don't rush the quiet. Don't resent the waiting. Don't shame your stillness. The orchestra of your life includes rests too, and those silent beats are what give your music depth. If you're still breathing, it's not too late to begin again. No matter how much time you think you've wasted, no matter how many false starts you've had, no matter how many years you spent off course, today can still be a beginning. You can start painting again. You can apologize. You can rebuild. You can pivot. You can leave the thing that was never meant for you. Yes, to the voice that's been waiting patiently inside your heart. You can take the first tiny step toward the version of you that's been waiting to be born, and you can do it now, because now is all you ever need to begin. The right time isn't a date, it's a decision. The world says, wait until you're ready. But people who wait for readiness wait forever. The right time is not when everything is in place. The right time is when you decide to start placing things, when you decide that progress is more important than perfection, when you choose courage over certainty, when you stop asking for permission and start building something personal, something real. You don't need a clock to tell you when to begin. You only need a commitment. Closing, you're right on time for the life meant for you. This isn't about rushing. It's not about proving. It's about trusting your own unfolding. You are not running behind. You are not too early to matter. You are not a mistake. You are on your way. Every detour added a layer of wisdom. Every delay taught you something others missed. Every quiet season prepared you for a louder one. You haven't missed your moment. You are stepping into it, even now. So breathe and know this: you are not falling behind. You are not running out of time. You are not too late. You are not too early. You are right on time for your life, your growth, your masterpiece. And the best parts are still ahead. Have 3.7. Your life is not a draft. Live it boldly. There's a trap many of us fall into without even realizing. We live as if this is the rehearsal, as if the real show starts someday, as if the version of us today isn't the one that really matters. We tell ourselves things like, when I figure everything out, I'll really live. When I'm more confident, I'll speak up. When I'm successful, I'll enjoy my life. When the timing is better, I'll go after what I want. But here's the truth. This is not the draft. This is not the rehearsal. This is your one and only life, and it's already happening. You don't get a second version to live fully. You get this one, right now as you are. Stop waiting for the final version of yourself to arrive. You are not a project in beta. You are not an unfinished version waiting to be released. Yes, you are growing. Yes, you are evolving. Yes, you will keep learning and becoming. But don't let that convince you that today's version of you is somehow not worthy of showing up. This version of you, flawed, learning, healing, is already powerful, already worthy of love, already capable of creating, already able to lead, to try, to dare, to live fully. Stop rehearsing. Start performing. Stop practicing happiness and start feeling it. Happiness is not something you need to earn. It's not a reward you unlock after enough suffering. It's not a someday milestone you reach when the stars align. It's not a trophy for perfection. Happiness is available now in the smallest, rawest, most ordinary of moments. A warm cup of tea in the morning, a walk without your phone, a message from a friend, a quiet moment of breath and peace. But you must be here to feel it, not postponing joy, not deferring gratitude, not waiting until everything looks like a magazine cover. Joy belongs to those who participate fully in the now. Live loudly, not for others, but so you don't go quietly. Too many people silence themselves out of fear. What will they think? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough yet? But here's a deeper fear to consider. What if you reach the end of your life and realize you never truly lived it out loud? What if you never told the truth that burned in your heart? What if you never gave your dreams a real shot? What if you always waited and ran out of time? This life is not a draft. This is the final canvas. Paint in bold strokes. Every ordinary day is a stage. Act like it matters. Not every day will feel grand. You won't always feel inspired, energized, or brave. But every day is a chance to make one meaningful choice, speak one honest word, move one step closer to alignment, and over time, these seemingly small acts compound until your whole life becomes a masterpiece of intention. The show doesn't need fireworks to be beautiful. It needs presence, passion, and truth. So live today like it counts, because it does. The share. Let go of the fear of getting it wrong. Perfection is a myth that keeps people stuck rewriting the same chapter, stuck planning and never acting, stuck preparing and never stepping forward. But this isn't school. There is no final grade. Life rewards boldness, not perfection. You can't fail at being yourself. The only real mistake is letting fear write your story for you. Make choices, learn, adjust, grow. You'll never get it 100% right, but you'll be alive, awake, and moving. That's more than enough. Don't just get through life, create something with it. You were not born just to survive, not just to pay bills, not just to meet expectations, not just to pass the time until retirement. You were born to create, to shape something from your pain, to build something with your love, to tell stories only you can tell, to leave behind something that echoes. Your life is not just to be endured, it is to be expressed. Live it like it matters, because it does. The final show is always today. So often we wait for the weekend, for the right opportunity, for a better version of ourselves. But what if this is it? What if today is the most real thing you have? What if there is no next draft, no rehearsal, no redo? What would you say? What would you start? What would you stop putting off? Live as if today is the real thing, because it is. Closing bold living is a daily decision. You don't have to be loud to live boldly. You just have to be real, real with what you want, real with what you feel, real with how you show up. You are not a dress rehearsal. You are not a work in progress waiting for permission. You are the artist, the creator, the performer, right now. So write the script, sing the song, paint the sky with every color you've got. This is not a draft. This is the masterpiece. This is your life. Live it as if it's the only one you'll ever have, because it is. Just 3.8, the greatest work of art you'll ever make is you. You've been building something all this time. No matter where you were born, what tools you were handed, or how many times you've started over, you've been shaping, refining, and layering one thing every day, yourself. And maybe you didn't realize it. Maybe you thought the work was the job, the business, the home, the reputation. But no. The most important project you'll ever work on is not out there. It's you. You are the canvas and the artist. Every thought you choose to believe, every boundary you set, every story you rewrite, every piece of pain you alchemize into wisdom, it all adds brushstrokes to who you are becoming. You are not just surviving, you are sculpting, not just growing older, you are growing deeper, wiser, clearer, braver. And this masterpiece, it's never quite finished, but it becomes more beautiful with every conscious decision. Let go of who you were told to be. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must ask, am I living someone else's version of me? Or am I creating the version that truly reflects who I am? Maybe you inherited beliefs that no longer fit. Maybe you were taught to shrink, to be careful, to play small. But you're allowed to question all of it. You're allowed to leave behind identities that were assigned to you, not chosen by you. You're allowed to say, that's not my definition of success. That dream doesn't belong to me. That version of me was necessary, but I've outgrown it. You are not here to replicate someone else's life. You are here to become someone only you can be. Every scar, every setback, part of the art. We tend to want to erase the messy parts, to cut out the heartbreak, the mistakes, the seasons we'd rather forget. But a true masterpiece isn't polished, it's honest. The cracks show where the light got in. The shadows add depth, The uneven strokes give it soul. You're not broken, you're layered. Every chapter of your life, even the ones you'd rather skip, adds something to the complexity of who you are. The pain you've carried has carved space for empathy. The mistakes you've made have sharpened your clarity. The losses you've endured have widened your capacity for gratitude. If you're willing to own every part, you'll find beauty in all of it. You're already becoming. Don't stop now. Maybe you don't feel like a masterpiece yet. Maybe you still doubt yourself, still get stuck, still second guess your worth. That's okay. Masterpieces aren't made in a day, they are made by showing up again and again and again, layer after layer, color after color, lesson after lesson. You're already on the path. You don't need to rush to the finish. Just keep shaping, keep tending, keep choosing the next right step. The you that you are becoming is worth it. Don't just build a life that looks good, build one that feels true. The world will offer you many blueprints: bigger salary, perfect body, trendy lifestyle, picture perfect relationships. But if you're not careful, you'll spend your life chasing external validation and miss the joy of internal alignment. A life that looks good but feels empty is not the goal. A life that feels real, grounded, purposeful, even if it looks messy, is the truer art. Build a life that's honest, one that reflects your values, not others' expectations, one that allows space for rest, for silence, for laughter, for depth. This is your one chance to shape something you would be proud to call your own. You are the masterpiece and the master maker. You are not your mistakes. You are not your resume. You are not your follower count or your title or your timeline. You are the result of the love you give, the truth you live, the courage you embody. You are both the clay and the hands shaping it. And the more intentionally you live, the more beautifully you become. Closing, choose to keep creating. Even when the world tells you to conform, keep creating. Even when your progress feels slow, keep layering. Even when your past whispers doubt, keep becoming. You were not meant to stay unfinished out of fear. You were meant to evolve. So take your time, make bold choices, forgive old versions of yourself, celebrate the growth no one else sees. And remember, you are not behind. You are in the middle of making your life's greatest work of art, and that work is you. Hashjaw 3.9, your life is the message. You don't need a microphone to make a difference. You don't need a platform to leave a legacy. You don't need the approval of the world to live a meaningful, beautiful, and bold life. Because in the end, the loudest thing you'll ever say isn't what comes out of your mouth, it's how you choose to live. Every day, you're writing a story others can read, not with words, but with how you show up, how you respond when things fall apart, how you treat people when no one's watching, how you rise after disappointment, how you stay kind in a world that makes it easier to be cold. Whether you realize it or not, you are always teaching something by how you live. You're teaching your children what matters. You're showing your friends what courage looks like. You're reminding strangers that hope still exists. Your life, with all its ordinary days and quiet choices, is already speaking. What is it saying? You are the proof that simple things matter. In a world that chases noise, you're allowed to choose depth. In a world that rewards appearance, you're allowed to choose substance. You don't need to go viral to matter. You don't need to be perfect to be impactful. You don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. Sometimes the most powerful life is the one that chooses presence over performance, integrity over image, and truth over convenience. You don't need to change the world. You just need to live like your life is part of what's making it better. You have been equipped. Now step fully in. Look back for a moment. You've learned to create from limitation. You've learned to make music from only 7 notes, like color from just 3 hues, systems from 10 simple digits. You've seen that greatness doesn't come from having more. It comes from doing more with what's already in your hands. You've been reminded that you are the artist, the composer, the builder of your own life. That every decision, every habit, every act of intention is adding to something far bigger than you may yet see. You have rediscovered your creativity, your courage, your resourcefulness, your agency. You are not waiting for someone to hand you permission. You are stepping into authorship. No one else can live your life, so don't let it go to waste. You were not made to copy. You were not meant to coast through life on autopilot. You were not born simply to exist. You were born to express, to create, to build, to heal, to grow, to inspire, to become. And the world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs the real you, fully alive, with your unique story, with your perspective shaped by both joy and pain, with your voice, your craft, your heart, offered, not hidden. This is the moment, not someday. There is no perfect timing coming. No perfect version of you will one day appear out of nowhere to take your place. It's just you, here, now, and that's more than enough. What matters is not how much time you have left, but what you choose to do with the time you have now. What matters is not if you feel ready, but if you're willing to move anyway. What matters is not that you get it right every time, but that you keep showing up and saying, I'm still here, still creating, still becoming. Your life is the message someone else is waiting for. Someone out there is watching you live your life and quietly drawing strength from it. Not because you have all the answers, but because you keep going, because you're still growing, because you're still choosing hope, even when it's hard. You may never know the full impact of your life, but that doesn't mean it's not rippling through others in quiet, beautiful ways. Final words. Make it count. Take all that you've read, all that you've remembered, and all that's been awakened inside you, and do something with it. Don't just let this be another piece of inspiration that fades in a few days. Let it move you. Let it challenge you. Let it change you. You are not powerless. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are already holding the brush. You are already composing the song. You are already building the life. Now, make it count. Because in the end, when all the noise fades, the question won't be, did I impress the world? It will be, did I live the life I was meant to live, fully, boldly, and as only I could? And if you can answer yes, then no matter how the story looks from the outside, you've already won. Whole conclusion, you are a masterpiece in the making. We're born into a world that often feels overwhelmingly complex. So many forces at play, so many unpredictable conditions. And yet there's a simple and profound truth that stops us in our tracks. A quote from Jim Rohn: there are only three primary colors, 10 digits and 7 notes. What we do with them is what matters. We've now seen this truth unfold. Three basic colors have painted every masterpiece across human history. 10 numbers have built the foundations of science, technology, finance, and modern civilization. 7 notes have composed the timeless music that echoes across generations. It's not because the world offered more, but because someone dared to do more with what they already had. And your life is no different. You may not have been born with privilege. You may not have had ideal resources or perfect timing, but you do have something to begin with. And more importantly, you have the power to choose your own palette. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to wait for a miracle. You just need to begin and keep creating. Today, a single honest brushstroke. Tomorrow, a melody of quiet persistence. Then, day by day, small numbers build trust, shape habits, form a rhythm of growth, and gradually a portrait emerges, unmistakably yours, unreplicable, unfiltered, unapologetically real. A life built not by accident, but by awareness, courage, and love for the person you're becoming. No one else is the artist of your life. No one else is the conductor of your song. No one else decides how the final canvas will look. Only you. And if you have the courage to believe that you can start over, the discipline to keep going each day, and the honesty to live in the colors that reflect your truest heart, then you are not just living a life, you are creating a masterpiece.